So yeah, so let you see a bit of what's going on and what we've got and whatnot. So you see, got a couple of shelves, a couple of racking systems there, or racks, carriage racks there, and another shelf here with a few bits and bobs on. That's sort of storage bits. Is it? Got a bit of a moldboard. Well, that one's full. I've probably got enough to fill that again now, if I'm honest. A box full of boxes. Basically, it's a plastic tub full of plastic tubs. Got a couple more enclosures for some future projects down here. This is some bits that I bought off Facebook locally when they've been going cheap, and there's one a bit further back there. This here is what I use as a breeding box with, there's an enclosure on top there that I'm just in the process of finishing off. I made my own lid for this one, so I've done it in two parts. That part moves but will stay in place, and then this will be, you just need to sort out the holes, and this will be the bit that comes off. It's quite a snug fit anyway, so hopefully that'll work. I've got 4 or 5 of these enclosures that are already in use, which I'll show you in a minute, and I've got to make lids for a couple of them. So anyway, we'll have a look here. I'll show you. It's on the top, a little bit of a nursery. I suppose we've got, now I need to remember this one here, I believe is a Cyriocosmus giganteus. Might see him in there. COVID, I called him, because he actually got stuck in the mail for 10 days right at the beginning of lockdown. There we've got a Haplocosmia species black. What else have we got here? I think this one here is a Salmapes reduncus. I've only seen it twice since I put it in there. An Incy Gold. This one's a Versi. I bought 3 slings of these recently. This one is a Pia Minya. You can see that, make that out, we've got a Haplocosmia dictator, which, now this little shit likes to give me the runaround every time I open the tub, whether it be feeding, watering, whatever, he's off. So it always leads to fun and games and Benny Hill type situations. At the back here we've got a, let me think now, we've got an OBT sling, and underneath there we've got Chilobrachus fimbriatus. This here is Thrixopelma Amelia. This is a couple of years old now, and it's still absolutely tiny. I mean, it's a lot bigger than it was when I got it, but considering that it's over 2 years old, pardon me, just bear with me. Yeah, so it's it. Awesome teas, but you do need some patience. So we'll put that one away. And what else have we got here? So we've got a Fufius species gold here, a Thrixopelma sesame, the Brazilian blue, Nandu carapoensis, that's one of 2 or 3 that I've got. Got a couple of P-Sazemes here, and a couple of Nandu chromatus, a couple more C. versi slings, and then a little box here with a few bits in it. So I've got H. pulchripes, the Haplocosmia devamartha, the Pseudapalopus species Columbus, Chilobrachus species Electric Blue I think is in there, Thrixopelma johnikashi. I think there might be another piece Azumai, and there's a couple of Togo starbursts as well. Oh no, it's a Nandu chromatus if I'm not mistaken. Here we've got 5 LP slings, a couple of Tiltacatl alba pelosums, Nicaraguas, and another piece Azumai. We'll come down the shelf, just a few more slings. So we've got in here, if you can make it out, Davus pentalaris. Underneath that there is another Nandu carapoensis. I think I've got 3 of those. And in here, she's now moved, but that is my Grammostola rosea, the red colourform. Not really getting focus, but you can see it's in there. And then at the back there we have Ben and Sam, who are a couple of Bumba caboclas named after my partner's 2 lads, who are called Ben and Sam. Both have red hair, and one of the common names, or one of the many common names for these is, I think it's the Brazilian redhead, so I just thought it fitted. They're both pretty much identical, so I'll just show you the one for now. And then drop down again. Now in this shelf here is where I've got my OBT. Was out there a few minutes ago but disappeared once I started getting close and moving around. I do apologise for any glare. This tank with the Star Wars type thing, that's got my Dolichothele diamantinensis. Now, I don't know if you can make it out. You see there's a bit of an entrancey bit there. That's where it is a confirmed female, but she's sealed that up, so I've got a feeling that she may be in pre-molt, so I don't want to move that about too much. Next we have my Deinopus, the ogre-faced spider. I've got to say this is probably one of my favourite spiders in the whole of my collection. Absolutely awesome. I've done a couple of videos on this now. Now this one here is basically my pet corkbark, although you may see there is something resembling a hide there. This has got one of my H-Max. I've got 4 in all, 2 GVs, 2 slings. I think this one could be a male if I'm honest, but the molt wasn't great, so we'll find out next time. But if I'm honest, I haven't seen that since it went in there. And this one here is my Psalmopius cambridgei, or Cambridgei, however you would like to choose to say it. That's another confirmed female. So dropping down, it's a bit cooler down here, so these are confirmed males. That's a Carabiner versicolor. It's the one I've rehoused and done a couple of videos on this spider since I started doing YouTube. Like, you can't really see him, but he's a pain in my ass if I'm honest, because he always insists on attaching his web to the door, so every time I open it I trash it, and then he's got to rebuild it, and it must be a ball ache. It must be a pain in the ass for him as well, if I'm honest. Next to him we've got my LP salmon pink bird eater. Oh, saying that, I actually forgot up the top here, this tub, this has got my female LP in it, and I forgot about these. This is a mature male Embelfori. This pile of dirt is my female Embelfori. They have been in a breeding box together for a week. Well, I say a week, about 3 or 4 days. So I'm just separated them now. I'm just going to give it another week and maybe try again. This one here is got my Megaphobema robustum, the Colombian giant redleg. You can just sort of make out its butt in there. And yeah, well, that's that shelf. And then again, we come across here this big tank, big enclosure. This has got my Poecilotheria striata, but she's gone into went into molt, I believe. She sealed. She's in this diagonal bark here. She's been in there from day one. She'd already had that in her last enclosure, and I transferred it over. But what's happened now is she's gone in pre-molt, or she's gone into molt. I haven't seen her for months, and I actually want to change this take this enclosure and use it for something else, because it's a bit too big for her. She doesn't. When I do see her, she'll basically sit somewhere on that log and run as soon as there's a vibration or a light comes on, or you basically, if you just glance at her from the other side of the room, and sometimes she'll sit here. But again, she does the same. You know, if a moth farts in the bedroom, in the living room, sorry, she does a runner, and you don't see her for another 3 or 4 days. So anyway, it's been 6 months pretty much since I seen her last, so I'm waiting for her to molt. She is an adult female, confirmed, so I'm just waiting for her to kick a molt out, give it a couple of weeks, and then I'll be on the lookout for a mature male, and we'll be looking to see if we can get her paired up. Next to it here we have, you might have seen I did a video this last week, my Balfouri communal, and there's another one, and 3 there. So it's coming on really well. They've been in there about a week. I did have to make a bit of a change because I put some bits of wood in there, and initially it was a bit damper than I wanted it. You can see that bottom soil, it is dry to the touch, but it's still a lot wetter than what you can see on the top. So anyway, they're doing all right. They're fine. They're webbing away, using every little bit that they can, so I'm quite happy with how that's gone. That little box of mould there, or with the mould attack, that's my springtail culture. We come up here, this one is another one of my favourite pet hauls. We may be able to get something here. Oh, there you go, those feet there. That's about as much as I've seen of it in 6 months. This is my Haplopelma dorii, or Cyriocosmus dorii, I think it might be now. Again, it just depends on what circles you run with, I think. Next to that, we've got H. pulchripes. This is a suspected male, so I think he's only maybe 1 or 2 molts away from maturity, if I'm honest. Beneath that, we've got G. pulchra and Ceratogyrus brachycephalus, the wild form, which is in there somewhere. We have another Ceratogyrus at the back there, that's the species Mozambique. And underneath you see, you might be able to just make out a Juvi albopilosum Nicaragua. This tub here, this little CD enclosure, this has got my Hilasteade female. I did buy a breeding pair, but I held off a bit on putting them together, and the male died. So if anybody has got a mature male Hilasteade, then I'm definitely in the market to buy one. Right, next one, Brachypelma bomi. This was my dark den piss take build, but I actually quite liked it, so I've kept it. And then coming up here, this is another build that I recorded a few weeks ago. This is my Chilobrachus fimbriatus, and you'll see she's carried on in much the same vein in regards to webbing it up. There's a bit of an entrance there, but she has sealed that up, so I'm not sure if she's gone into pre-molt. You may be able to make out that white line that you can see from there down there. That's where she's dug her burrow out, but as I say, I think she might be in pre-molt, so I don't want to disturb her too much. This is a big pile of dirt really that's got a H. gigas hiding in amongst it somewhere. Another one I don't see a lot of. and you may be able to make this out here. This is M&M, my sea marshally, and next to that we have a recent acquisition from my Wild Tarantulas EU mystery box, which is a GBB, Thrixopelma pubescens. We've got another Chilobrachus fimbriatus in this box here, and down here we've got the Haplocosmia, which you may just be able to make out the legs through there. That's coming on well. And then onto this top shelf we have this one. You may see just at the side there, if I can get focus, P. regalis. I've got about 4 or 5 of these. Woodlouse culture. Another P. regalis there. This one here, I think it is a Pamphobeteus cascada, and next to that we have this one here, sorry, is the cascada, is a confirmed female, and next to that we have a Pamphobeteus species Tigris, which is a suspect male, but again I need to wait for the next molt just to confirm that, because I actually thought that this one was a female, even though the molts were quite a good size. When I tried to sex them I thought it was a female, a male, and it wasn't until a few molts later that I was able to sort of sex it and confirm it properly, which obviously turned out to be a pretty decent surprise. So next, this shelf here, basically this is pretty much all arboreals, juvies really. There is a couple of exceptions. This one is a Alphanax. Don't know if you can make it out in there. It is there though. I think that one may be in pre-molt. It hasn't eaten the last couple of times I've tried to feed it. So, and then across the back here, let's see if we can get some light on this. So we've got Pia Mignot, down there, another Pia Mignot. There is another one in here as well. These are due a rehouse pretty soon. We'll probably get another molt in these enclosures. And there we have my P. metallica. This is Greg, so I've had him for just over a year. I do believe again he's another one that's a suspect male. This one here we have the P. muticus. It's another one that's a 2-year-old sling and has barely doubled in size in that time. They're so slow to grow, it's unbelievable. Here we've got another P. minia, so that's 6 of them in the collection. We have a P. rufilata somewhere in here. Oh, I freaked it out and it's jumped down the bottom there. That's the rufilata. Next to this we've got a couple of species. I've wrote these labels wrong. It's actually Ornithoctoninae, not Ornithoctonus. Ornithoctoninae species Mindanao South. You may just make out a little fluffy leg there. They're about 2 centimetres. I've only had those a couple of weeks. Got another P. regalis in there. That's Scott Free. He was a stowaway in a box I had from Portsmouth Tarantulas, and I just thought Scott is the guy who runs the shop, and Scott Free, yeah, just seemed quite witty at the time. And finally on this top shelf we have P. Smithy, which I think is the yellow-backed ornamental or something along those lines. Come down here, we have Brachypelma albopilosum. This is a confirmed male change that flash. There we are, you can see him. And also I've got another confirmed male here, which is a Grammostola pulchripes. I've got 2 confirmed males of them. Actually, they need to go on the other shelf over there with the other 2 at some point once I get round to it. So yeah, that's the G pulchripes, and that one there is the Albo. Here we've got Cyriocosmus elegans, which you may just get a glimpse of here. Not the best view, but I haven't seen him for a while myself, or her. Oh, there we are. The heartbutt tarantula. This one here, Tilticatl verdazy. That's a confirmed female. The Mexican grey, I believe. And here we have the Tapanacenius. It says Santa Vicente, but I believe it's now the T. polybotes. I can't actually make out where the spider is in that one. And then over here, again, I should make this my male shelf really, because that's where they all seem to be. I've got the Albo, 2 G pulchripes, and in there, just in the back, we've got a Tilticatl vegans. So yeah, like I say, I am looking for females for these species that I've got the males. None of them are matured yet, so I've got a little while to try and find myself an adult female. If not, I'll maybe look at doing some sort of breeding loan. Not so much a 50-50, but I don't think I could cope with that many. But we'll see what happens and see what arrangements we can make. So yeah, that's everything. And like I say, well, like I mentioned earlier, we've got a few bits going on here, so over the next few weeks we're going to have a few more enclosure build videos coming out, especially once I decide what's going in this one, because I don't know whether that's going to be the Alphalax or one of the Porkies or one of the Sun Tigers. There are so many spiders that need rehousing and not enough enclosures this side to do it. So that's it for now. Cheers for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Ta-ra.